Greetings to everyone. Welcome to Inspirations by Terry. I am here today. I just want to make a quick disclaimer that, I live on a construction site. Well, not on a construction site, but our home is under construction. So they're out there banging away, and hopefully you can hear me through the banging and through all the noise. So please forgive me for that. I hope everyone's doing well. Today I want to talk to my Hebrew brothers, my Hebrew sisters and brothers, if any brothers are listening, but mainly to my Hebrew sisters, about being a gossiping. Ooh, did you hear, being a gossiper? And I don't know if gossiping and being a busybody is one and the same. I think they're similar. Or a gossiper is a characteristic of a busybody. Somebody tell me. I'm sure somebody knows. Okay. Anyway, so today let's get started with the word of the Most High first. Let's do that. Okay. And then we'll go into our little talk. Okay. So I'm going to be reading from the book of James, chapter 3, verses 5 through 12. It says, even so the tongue is a little member, and boasteth great things. Behold, how great a matter a little fire can kindleth. And the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity. So is the tongue among our members, that it defileth the whole body, and setteth on fire the course of nature, and is set on fire of hell. For every kind of beast, and of birds, and of serpents, and of things in the sea is tamed, and hath been tamed of mankind. But the tongue can no man tame. It is unruly, evil, and full of deadly poison. Our tongue is evil, unruly, and full of deadly poison. Okay? And then we're going to go to Ephesians chapter 4, verses 25 through 29. It says, Wherefore, putting away lying, speak every man truth with his neighbor, for we are all members of one of another. Be ye angry, and sin not. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath, neither give place to the devil. Let him that stole steal no more, but rather let him labor, working with his hands in the thing which is good, that he may have to give to him that needeth. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good, to the use of edifying, and that it may minister grace unto the hearers. So we just heard in James that even though our tongue, even though our tongue is the smallest part, a small part of our body, it can cause great damage, and it's poisonous. We just read it in James, right? It can just do so much damage. In Ephesians, we just read about don't let a corrupt communication come out of our mouths, because only that which is good and edifying, so that the person who's listening to what we're saying can be, it's giving them something good to hear. I mean, it's grace, and it's something edifying. So when they hear it, they're thinking of something good and not something bad, right? So I just want to say to our ladies that we are very important. I'm sorry for moving the a little iPod. We are very, very important when it comes to the kingdom of the Most High, because we are mothers, wives, influencers. We are life givers. We are nurturers. So what we do is so important, especially for our daughters that are watching us, especially for our sons, for everyone, our friends, our spouses, that we set a godly example, because we are going to influence the next generation. They're learning from us. Our little kids, our children, when they're younger, they listen, they mirror everything we do, and it's so amazing because you'll see, if you're a mother or anyone who's around children, you'll see, or you have seen that a little child, you don't know what they're, you don't know what they're like. They're like sponges. They're just absorbing everything that you do. And I'll never forget. My son was in a play at daycare when he was very, very young, and he was on the stage doing. I mean, he was very, very young, and all of a sudden they said something, and my son said something, out loud, responding to what they said in the play, and it was hilarious. Something that I would say all the time. And not knowing that he was a sponge and listening, like it was something like, this don't make no sense, or, something, it was like something so hilarious. I'm like, wow, my son is young. He's not even 2 years old yet, but they're listening to everything that we say, and they're going to repeat, and they're going to react, and they're going to mimic what we do. So it's important that we keep, that we are mindful of this, mothers, when we have young ladies around and our daughters around, that we are teaching them how to not be gossipers. Because if they sit and listen to you gossip, and they sit and listen to your conversations, and your conversations are not holy, and your conversations are not edifying, and your conversations are degrading to about other people, they're going to mimic the same thing, and it's just going to go on to the next generation, and it's just going to be an ongoing cycle, which it has been in our community. But we can break that. We can just break that thing, annihilate it, right? Because when we decide that we're going to do better, our children are going to see our deeds and hear our speech, and they're going to say, wow, that's not a good thing to do. So let's talk about a horse. We know how big a horse is. A horse is huge, right? I didn't know how big a horse was until I tried to ride one. I was like, this thing is big as heck. I don't know if I want to get on this thing. But we know that in order to control a horse, if you're going for a horseback ride, they put a little bit in the horse's mouth, which controls the way they want that horse to move. A very small thing controls this big, massive beast. A small little bit. And that's like, in comparison to our tongue. We may have this big body, this little tongue, but it is so dangerous, right? And also for ships, cruise ships, any kind of ship, all the ships, as large as they may be, and they're driven by strong winds, and they're turned, they're driven and turned by the wind and everything. But what controls a ship is a little small rudder, right? So small that when you start turning the steering, or the helm, I think it's called, or the steering wheel, the steering thing, the rudder and it just starts turning that ship around, and just turning the rudder, just like making that thing go which way you want it to go. And it's a very small thing, but it controls this large, massive vessel, right? The same with our tongue. Our tongue is very powerful. Our tongue can be used to cause so much damage, and it could be used as an instrument of evil if we allow it to be. It's up to you. And it could be used as a conduit for a blessing, depending upon how you use it. Because the Bible tells us that blessings and curses, that we speak blessings or curses. And he said that we choose life or death. It's up to us what we choose. He said choose life. Choose good. Choose to speak good concerning your brothers and sisters instead of evil, right? And it's a choice. It's a daily choice that we make. We make that choice to speak well of our friends and speak well of our family members or co-workers or whatever it may be, whomever. We choose whether we're going to speak evil and let our tongue be used as an instrument of evil, or whether we're going to allow our tongue to be used as an instrument of good. You choose. And know this, that we shall all give account for every word and every deed, idle word that we speak against anyone's life. And yeah, so what are some of the damages that, well, before we go to the damages that can be caused by someone gossiping, right? Let's speak on 5 reasons. Usually there's so many more, but I'm just going to start with 5 reasons why women gossip, right? Women may gossip because they are jealous of what others may have, right? Or to make themselves feel better about themselves because they feel less than, or they feel, whatever they feel. They don't feel too good about themselves, so they're going to gossip and try to make themselves look or feel better about themselves because they're miserable. Number 2, another reason is to take the focus off their own situation. So if they're having a horrible time at home, they're going to talk about somebody else and their terrible situation, or, oh, her husband is blah blah, or whatever. But a lot of times it's to take the focus off of their miserable selves and their miserable lives, so they're going to talk about another person. Another reason why women talk about one another is because they're jealous of others. They're jealous of, it could be that you have a wonderful marriage, or your husband is so good and their husband may be a dog, It could be because your husband is gorgeous, your husband is ugly and short and fat. This is by view, okay? It could be because, that you're still married and they're divorced, or they've never been married. A reason for a woman to be jealous. It could be because of your social status. You could have something going on socially and they're jealous or envious because of that. Like, oh, well, look at her, and so let's gossip about her and make something up to make her look bad because you're jealous of what she got going on. And it could just be pure envy because whatever that other woman's doing that you want to do, or wish that it was you doing it, or I can do it better. Jealousy, envy, that could be another reason, okay, that women gossip, okay? Number 4, they're bored, just plain boredom. They have nothing else to do, nothing else. They're bored with their routine life and their mundane task, and they're just like, I'm just bored. Let me just call someone and just gossip. No other reason. Boredom. And number 5, a person gossiping connects them to others, to other friends. Like, if I'm a gossiper, it puts you in some kind of circle. Like, a lot of people are gossipers. So if if they're gossiping, and if I want to be in good with them, and I think this is like the good crowd to be in with, I'm a gossip too. So a lot of times gossip is a thread that connects you to other people, right? And if 2 people or 3 people have a common hatred towards the same person, you click instantly. Like, oh, I can't stand her either. Oh my girl, and they'll gossip, and that gives you something to have in common. So now you have this common thread, gossiping about this one person that you don't like or you dislike, and then here you go, right? So, with that being said, you got to be careful who you align yourself with, because if I'm in a place where I'm with some girls and someone starts gossiping about someone that is not present to hear what you're saying and not there to defend themselves, I'm going to say, well, did you talk to Martha about this? Did you tell Martha? Does Martha even know? And they're going to say probably, no, I didn't talk to Martha about this. Then I'm going to say, well, don't you think Martha should be here? Or maybe you should get Martha's permission to be speaking about this. I'm going to be that one to try to change the focus or bring the focus back to the person and not allow them to talk about the other person. And hear me, I used to be a gossiper back in the day, and I used to hear and be in those little things, well, not being in anything, but be around people, and I would hear them gossiping, but it was like, gosh, all they do is gossip. Like, some people like that, but it's just so annoying. Like, what are you talking about this person for? And you can, if you have any kind of, tenacity or any kind of oomph about you, you can just tell that this person is jealous of whomever they're talking about, because why are you talking about them? They ain't even here. And whatever you're saying, is it true? Is it slander? Are you going on hearsay? Do you have evidence to back this up? This is like, you can destroy and damage a whole person's reputation based on hearsay and gossip. Gossiping usually, and a lot of times people gossip and they make the other person look bad when it's truly them that are the ones that are the problem. But in order to deflect it off of them, they'll make the other person seem like they're the issue. A gossiper. It's evil. And then also we have to think about the intentions. Why is this person saying what they're saying? Are they saying this because you'll have plenty of people who come to you and say, oh, you need to pray about this, or give me your advice. How should I handle this? As an excuse to gossip, instead of just really going and praying about it, or really going to that person, they'll bring somebody else in on it. I just want to say to everybody who's listening that if you're a gossiper, and if you have been guilty of gossiping, remember, you have people listening to you. You have your daughters listening to you, and you don't want them to repeat the cycle and be brought up in this negative, continual, perpetual cycle of gossipers, and every generation it just gets worse. Let's stop it. Let's teach our younger ones to do better, to protect and to cover their friends, or to cover whomever they're talking about or gossiping about, because the Bible tells us that love covers a multitude of sins. So when you hear dirt or something about someone, and you're so like, oh, I just gotta tell somebody, like, oh, like I can't hold this to myself, and go pray about that. What if that was your situation? Wouldn't you want somebody to pray for you? Like if your husband was cheating on you, wouldn't you want someone to say, oh, let me just go pray for Terry, let me just cover them, and I don't know what my sister's going through, let me just keep her covered, let me get a beautiful blanket and just cover her up, instead of exposing her and going and did you hear? Yeah, he's cheating on, yeah, with 5 people, and one of the girls prayed, no, she just gave her, and no, love covers a multitude of sin, and evil exposes, right? So let's change the cycle. Let's do better, ladies, my Hebrew sisters. Let's do better. Let's change this vicious cycle that's going on amongst us. Let's speak well of one another. Let's uplift one another. Let's speak wholesome speech that to the person who is hearing may be edified. Another thing is, pick your friends wisely and choose your circle wisely, because if you're in a group of people and all you are sitting around doing is gossiping, and it's really not about nothing else but gossiping about something else, I think you need another circle, because that is foolish vanity, and it's not going to profit anything. So with that being said, if today, if anything, my hope is to inspire you to just dismantle that tongue, let's choose to dismantle the sinful habit of gossiping today in our lives. Let's choose to be a woman of building her house with wisdom and being set apart, to be different and not to be caught up in that cycle of evilness. It's very evil. The tongue, the Bible even told us, it's poison. It's very evil if you use it wrongly, and very damaging. So let's dismantle all those evil thoughts and those evil intentions, and choose to build our house and our lives with wisdom, and be a woman of the Most High Yah, and showing others that, and our daughters and the next generation, that no, that's not good to do. Don't do that. I used to be guilty of that, but we're not going to do that anymore. We're going to change, and we're going to be better. When you know better, you do better. Okay? Be blessed. Thank you for tuning in. Remember, like, subscribe, and share this video with at least one other person. Subscribe and comment if you enjoy the content. I appreciate you. Take care and God bless. Until the next video. Bye.